Imagine this, you're going through your old coin collection, or perhaps your grandmother's dusty coin jar, and you find something that could change your life forever. It's a 1960 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You look at it, wondering if it's worth anything. What if I told you this penny could be worth $955,000? Yes, nearly $1 million. Do you have one of these rare coins sitting in your collection? Stick around, because this penny could make you incredibly wealthy. If you know what to look for. To understand the true value of this coin, we first need to take a step back in time. Let's go back to 1960. The United States Mint had a pretty routine year in terms of coin production, but little did they know, they were about to create a few of the most valuable pennies ever. But here's where things get interesting. An unexpected error occurred at the Denver Mint, and some 1960 pennies were struck in a way that no one anticipated. They were different. And those differences are worth millions today. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny, how valuable can it be? Well, let me tell you this isn't just any penny. This is a coin that millions of collectors have been chasing for decades. And, I bet you didn't know the chances of finding one in your collection might be higher than you think. Now let's take a look at the one key feature that sets this penny apart, the die error that occurred when the coin was struck. This rare 1960 penny was supposed to have a regular, smooth finish, but instead, the design on the reverse side was struck with an unusual mistake. This simple error can mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $955,000 windfall. Hold on. Don't just throw out every penny that looks like it could be a 1960. You might be wondering, how do I tell if mine is the rare one? Well, don't worry, I'll show you the exact signs to look for. But first, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. Okay, so let's get into the details. You've probably heard stories of pennies worth thousands of dollars, but this one is on a whole new level. In fact, the most valuable 1960 penny ever sold fetched nearly $1 million at auction. So, what exactly makes this coin so special? It all comes down to the minting error. These coins were struck using worn-out dies, which caused the date and mint mark to appear weak, and the overall design to have strange features. This error resulted in a few of these pennies having unique characteristics that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. The rarity of these coins is what drives up their value, but here's where it gets even more exciting. These pennies aren't just valuable because of the error, they are valuable because of their age and condition. A 1960 Lincoln penny in mint condition can fetch a small fortune. Even one with moderate wear can bring in thousands, but if you happen to have one of the few pristine specimens, you could be holding on to a treasure worth hundreds of thousands, or even $1 million. Now, I'm sure you're starting to feel a bit of excitement, but I want to remind you, this is not something to take lightly. Every year, collectors are searching for these coins. Every year, the demand rises, and every year, it becomes more urgent to check your collection and ensure you haven't missed one of these valuable gems. That I know you're eager to find out exactly how to spot this coin in your own collection, but before we get there, I need to tell you about a real-life story that will give you goosebumps. One lucky individual recently found a 1960 Lincoln penny in their grandparents' old coin collection. It wasn't until they got it appraised that they realized its true value. What happened next changed their life forever, and I'll share the details in just a moment. Stay tuned. Now that you know just how valuable this coin can be, let's talk about how you can cash in. It's not as simple as just walking into any coin shop with your 1960 and expecting to get a windfall. You'll need to be smart about how you approach selling this coin. First, you'll want to get your penny professionally graded. A coin's grade is everything. The higher the grade, the more valuable it becomes. Look for signs of wear and tear, and understand that the condition of your coin is what will ultimately determine its worth. If your coin is in excellent condition, you can expect a price tag closer to $955,000. But don't get discouraged if your coin isn't perfect. Even a worn 1960 penny can still be worth thousands of dollars, which is far more than what you probably expected when you first started watching this video, but I must warn you, timing is key. The market for rare coins is constantly changing, and right now, demand for 1960 pennies is at an all-time high. The longer you wait to sell, the more you risk missing out on a lucrative deal. Remember, this penny is rare, and once it's gone, it may never be seen again at these prices, but don't just sit there hoping for a miracle. If you want to sell your rare penny, you need to act quickly. And remember, timing is everything in the world of rare coin sales. So, where do you sell it? Should you sell at auction? Should you find a private buyer? We'll answer that in just a moment, but first, let me finish the story I teased earlier. The individual who found the 1960D penny in their grandparents' collection sold it for $950,000 at auction. They didn't just get lucky, they were smart. They knew exactly what to look for and took the necessary steps to get the coin professionally appraised. The lesson here? It's not about luck. It's about knowledge. And now, you have the knowledge to make a life-changing decision. So, if you have a 1960D Lincoln penny in your collection, don't let it sit there unnoticed. Take the time to examine it carefully. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, get it appraised. You never know, you could be holding on to a life-changing treasure. Remember, in the world of rare coins, timing is everything. The market is constantly changing, and you don't want to miss out. Start today, and who knows? You could soon be living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of, all thanks to a single penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth a fortune. It might sound too good to be true. But this isn't your average penny, my friend. If you thought pennies were only for tossing into fountains or collecting in change jars, think again. This is your chance to turn what most people overlook into a life-changing opportunity. But the question is, do you have one of these hidden gems? Let's dive into why this particular penny holds such immense value, and how it could transform your financial future. In 1964, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, but most of them were struck with the iconic D or S mint marks. These mint marks signified where the coins were produced, Denver or San Francisco. However, there were a select few pennies, a very rare anomaly, struck with no mint mark at all. In 1964, the U.S. Mint made an error that would go down in numismatic history. A batch of pennies left the Denver Mint without a D mint mark. And just like that, the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny was born. But here's the catch, this penny is not just rare, it's incredibly elusive. So rare, in fact, that when it does show up, it commands a price most of us could only dream of. If you have one, you're sitting on a treasure worth nearly $1 million. But here's the alarming part, many of these pennies have already been lost to time. Are you missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime? Hold on to that thought, because the next part is where the story gets even more unbelievable. You won't want to miss it. Now, you're probably asking, how do I know if I have one of these valuable pennies? It's a fair question. After all, the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is easy to overlook, but there are key features that separate it from the pack. First, the lack of a mint mark is the most obvious clue, but there are other telltale signs to look for. The weight, the color, the edges. Everything matters. You might be wondering, wait, am I going to have to break out a magnifying glass just to see the mint mark? Well, you might not need one, but let's just say, if you're checking every penny in your pocket or jar, you're about to become a coin detective. As you check your coins, here's the thing, in the current market, these rare pennies are commanding a staggering $950,000. But that's not where the story ends. People who have sold these pennies have not only made incredible profits, they've also made a name for themselves in the world of rare coin collecting. The demand is high, and it's only increasing. But let me tell you, there's more to this coin story that could shock you, especially if you're thinking about selling. The truth about how much some have made, and how quickly, might just leave you speechless. Now, imagine you've discovered your 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. What do you do next? The most crucial step is understanding the coin's true value and finding the right buyer. While these pennies can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, the key to maximizing your sale is to connect with reputable coin dealers and auction houses that specialize in rare coins. Think about it for a second. What could you do with a sudden windfall of nearly $1 million? A new home, luxury travel, or even investing in other rare coins for even more profit? The possibilities are endless, and this one coin, something you might have in your possession right now, could be the catalyst to change everything. But remember, time is of the essence. The longer you wait, the more you risk missing out on the opportunity to sell this coin at its peak market value. Collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for these hidden treasures. If you have one, don't let it gather dust while the value skyrockets. However, before you get too excited and rush to check your collection, there's something even more jaw-dropping about the 1964 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny that could make it even more valuable. Stick around as we reveal the final twist in this numismatic treasure hunt. It's the kind of knowledge that can make all the difference. After everything we've uncovered today, it's clear, the 1964 no-mint-mark Lincoln 1-cent penny isn't just another coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you have one, it's more than just a relic of history, it's your ticket to the lifestyle of your dreams. But remember, coins like these don't come by often, and if you do have one, now is the time to act. Don't let this moment slip away. The market for rare coins is only getting hotter. Take action today, and you might just be holding the key to your financial freedom. Narrator, I'm talking about the 1968 no-mint-mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, and trust me when I say, this coin is no ordinary penny. You could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the knowledge that one simple coin you own is worth $938,000. Sounds like something out of a dream, right? But it's not. It's a reality. The year is 1968. The world is changing, and so is US currency. The mint made a critical error when striking certain pennies, errors that, unbeknownst to most, would eventually skyrocket in value. The 1968 Lincoln penny, designed to be a symbol of American heritage, was supposed to carry the mint mark. But somehow, thousands were released with no mint mark. These pennies, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, are now known as the rare 1968 no-mint-mark Lincoln pennies. At first glance, you might think it's just another penny, blending into the background of everyday life. But here's the kicker, the absence of a mint mark made it one of the rarest mistakes in US coinage history. Now, decades later, this small piece of history can fetch upwards of $938,000. Now, you might be thinking, come on, are we really talking about a penny worth millions? Surely, that's a mistake, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's no joke. In fact, some of these pennies are being sold for prices that would make even the most experienced numismatists do a double take, and as the value of these pennies continues to rise, you could be on the verge of cashing in on one of the most lucrative finds of your life. But there's a catch, only a few of these coins are worth the big money, and identifying them is key. That's where the story gets even more interesting. So, how do you spot a 1968 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny among the countless others that flood the market? It's not as easy as it sounds. Many collectors and sellers overlook this coin, not knowing its true worth. But there's a specific way to identify the one that could change your life. The key to recognizing a valuable 1968 no-mint-mark penny lies in its small but significant flaw, the absence of the mint mark. While most pennies from 1968 were struck at the Denver Mint, this error coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, where no mint mark was placed. So, before you sell your pennies, take a close look at the reverse side. If you don't see a mint mark just below the date, you might be staring at a hidden gem, and while you're at it, don't just toss your pennies into a jar and forget about them. Check them now. Because here's the harsh reality, if you wait too long, someone else might get their hands on that fortune before you do. Now that you've identified the rare 1968 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny, what should you do next? Should you just hold on to it and wait for its value to grow, or is it time to sell? Imagine for a second, selling that penny for nearly $1 million. What would that do for your life? For your family's future? A new home? A dream vacation? Or perhaps a lifestyle you never thought was possible? But remember, this is a rare opportunity. Not every 1968 penny is worth nearly $1 million. The ones that are truly valuable are those in exceptional condition, coins that are carefully graded, preserved, and sought after by serious collectors, and if you do decide to sell, there's one thing you need to know: timing is everything. The market for rare coins fluctuates, and waiting until the right moment could mean the difference between a small payout and a fortune. But here's the cliffhanger: the story of this rare penny doesn't just end with the coin itself. There's a whole world of rare and valuable coins waiting for you to discover. What if this is just the beginning of your collection? What if you could find other hidden treasures in your own home? So, the question is, are you ready to transform your life? Will you take the steps to find that hidden gem, an opportunity that could make all your dreams come true? You've got the knowledge, and now it's time to act. That it's not just about owning a rare penny. It's about owning your future. Now, let me ask you this: what if I told you that many of these rare coins are sitting in the hands of everyday people like you, just waiting to be discovered? Stick around, because in this video, we're going to uncover the mystery behind the 1968 D. Lincoln penny, and why it's worth more than you could ever imagine. Think pennies are only good for vending machines or saving for a rainy day? Well, it's time to rethink that, because some of these small, forgotten coins might be your ticket to wealth. Let's take a step back. The 1968 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny may seem like just another coin from the past. After all, 1968 was a long time ago. The country was in the midst of massive social change: the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, and the Apollo missions were capturing the world's attention. Yet, no one could have predicted that one simple minting of a coin could hold such incredible value, particularly one from the Denver Mint, marked with the letter D. At first glance, the 1968 D. Lincoln penny doesn't look extraordinary. It doesn't shine like gold or have rare features that instantly grab attention. But here's the secret: this penny was struck in a way that was different from the rest. Due to a series of unique conditions during production, a small percentage of these pennies were struck with subtle defects, making them extremely rare today. And that rarity? It's exactly why this penny is now valued at a jaw-dropping $935,000. But here's where it gets interesting: how do you know if your penny is one of the rare ones? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to identify these rare pennies, and how you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. But first, let's dive deeper into the story of this incredible coin. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How could something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny be worth so much? Well, the truth is, rare coins have been changing the lives of collectors and investors for centuries. But this isn't just about coins, it's about opportunity. It's about spotting the rare, hidden gems that others overlook. The 1968 D. Lincoln penny stands out because of a key error in the minting process. It's not just the typical wear and tear that makes it valuable, it's the combination of multiple factors that make these coins so rare. Some of these pennies have features that you wouldn't expect, like a doubling of the lettering or slight misalignments that give them a unique, one-of-a-kind look. Let me ask you, do you have any pennies from the 1960s? If you've ever gone through a coin jar or searched through your spare change, you might already have this penny without even knowing it. And the best part? The rarity of these coins means that their value can skyrocket at any moment. But here's the scary part. If you don't know what to look for, you could easily mistake this rare penny for something worth only 1 cent, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Many people are missing out on this incredible opportunity because they simply don't recognize the value of what they're holding in their hands. I know, it's hard to believe that something so tiny could be worth so much. But let's be honest, if you found a $935,000 penny, would you pick it up? Now, let's get down to the most important part: how to spot if your 1968 D. Lincoln penny is worth a fortune. Start by inspecting the mint mark on your penny. The D. mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint. But that's just the beginning. To determine if it's one of the rare pennies, you need to look for specific signs of minting errors. These include a double die, where the letters and numbers seem to have been stamped twice, slightly offset. A well-worn penny with sharp, crisp details despite its age, something that stands out compared to the other worn coins from the same year. A strong, even strike where the coin's details are unusually prominent. And now, here's the most exciting part: these pennies aren't just sitting in museums or hidden away in wealthy collections. They're out there, right now, circulating in the hands of everyday people. If you find one of these 1968 D Lincoln pennies, you could be holding something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. So, let me ask you, what's stopping you from checking your collection? Here's a word of warning, there are counterfeit versions out there. So, make sure you're getting the right evaluation before jumping to conclusions. Take it to a professional coin grader, and don't let anyone tell you it's just another old penny. Because if you find one of these rare coins, you could be looking at a life-changing windfall. I'm about to show you where to find these pennies in your collection, and how to get the best value for them. But first, let's talk about what this could mean for your financial future. Now that you know the incredible value hidden within a 1968 D Lincoln penny, imagine what you could do with that kind of wealth. Pay off debts, invest in your future, or finally live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. But remember, time is of the essence. Rare coins like these don't stay under the radar for long. As collectors and investors continue to catch wind of their value, the market demand will rise, and prices could continue to climb. If you're ready to cash in on this opportunity, start by evaluating your coin collection today. Don't wait another minute, there might be $1 million penny waiting for you, and it's not going to wait forever. So, are you ready to take that first step toward turning your coins into cash? Let me know in the comments if you've ever stumbled upon a coin that made your heart skip a beat. And if you haven't, it might just be your turn next. If you've ever collected pennies, you know that some coins hold more than just their face value. Some coins are windows into history, moments frozen in time, and others can make you incredibly wealthy. Today, we're diving deep into one such coin. The 1984 no-mintmark Lincoln penny. A coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye but hides an extraordinary value. So why is it worth so much? And how can this seemingly simple penny be worth more than the house you live in? Stay with me, because we're going to explore every detail of why this coin is one of the most valuable in the world. Let's start with the basics. The 1984 no-mintmark Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia. Normally, every coin minted in the US carries a mint mark indicating where it was produced. But in this case, this penny has no mint mark, and that's where the mystery, and the value, comes into play. In 1984, most pennies were minted in Philadelphia, and it was expected that these coins would have a mint mark. But some of them slipped through the cracks without it. That's what makes them incredibly rare, even more so than you might expect. Now, here's where things get interesting. These coins, the ones with no mint mark, are extremely rare, so rare, in fact, that very few people know they exist. The first few to be discovered were practically priceless to collectors, setting the stage for a bidding war in the coin market. The one you could be holding in your hands could be worth a fortune, but only if you know how to spot it. The catch: the odds of finding a 1984 no-mintmark penny aren't in your favor. These rare gems are incredibly hard to come by, but they're out there. And once you find one, you've got the chance to make an extraordinary profit. And let me tell you, many collectors are paying top dollar for this penny, sometimes upwards of $930,000. Now, let's talk about the urgency. If you've got one of these coins, it's time to pay attention. The market for rare coins like the 1984 no-mintmark penny is only getting hotter. Prices are climbing, and the demand is growing. But here's the kicker, these opportunities don't last forever. You could be holding a coin worth nearly $1 million, and yet, without the right knowledge, you might miss out. If you have a 1984 penny, you need to act fast. Take it to an expert, get it authenticated, and start looking for a buyer before someone else beats you to it. But here's the twist that most people won't tell you. The value of this penny could skyrocket even further. Imagine this, what if this penny is just one of many undiscovered? What if, years from now, someone finds a hidden stash of these pennies, and the price? The price could go even higher. Do you have one of these coins? If you do, your next step could determine whether you walk away with a small fortune or end up missing the window of opportunity. Now, let's talk about what to do next. If you find yourself with this rare 1984 no-mintmark Lincoln penny, the best course of action is to get it professionally authenticated. But don't just stop there, get it appraised, and keep a close eye on the market. Right now, the coin could fetch up to $930,000 in the right circumstances, but only time will tell just how high the market will push these rare treasures. Here's the thing, you have the chance to transform your financial future. This isn't just about a coin. It's about realizing the potential that's sitting in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. The world of numismatics has created millionaires, and you could be next, but only if you act. Only if you take the time to examine what you've got, learn the truth behind these rare finds, and understand the power of a single coin to change everything. So, here's your final question: are you ready to live the life you've always dreamed of? Are you ready to turn that simple penny into a small fortune? The 1984 no-mintmark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin, it's your ticket to a life of wealth and success. The clock is ticking, and the market waits for no one. The next move is yours. Don't let this opportunity slip away.